Scripture that says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick." And man, I'll tell you, I'm hope I'm wrong on this. But the idea is, I want you to think it through. All right, let's say you're a husband and wife team, or you got 3 or 4 kids, and you used to take them to school, and you used to take them maybe one to daycare. Who's going to watch the kids now when the schools shut down? 93,000 students have just shut down in a northern county up by Atlanta because a teacher may have it. So they shut all the schools down. I think it's Fulton County or something like that. So think that through. Think and verify what I say. If type it in. Did Georgia County shut down an entire school district or 2 school districts or whatever it may be? I want you to think about that. Listen, these are dark times, but you can be prepared. You can be ready, and they won't be so dark. You can calm some of the fears and ease some of the apprehensiveness that you might have in this situation, just by making sure that you got a few things ready. And it ain't going to kill you to do it. It really ain't. And for those of you that may watch this and think you're going to go take from somebody else, what you'll find out, either the hard way or just by word of mouth, is that those guys are the first ones that die. You understand what I'm saying? Those people will be the first ones to die because they're going to go try to take something, and don't think for a minute that they're going to be under God's protection. No, they won't. No, they won't. Nope. If they're trying to take and do harm to other people who have done their due diligence and are trying to pick their family, and they end up getting shot, they probably will. These people that have this in mind, well, I'm going to go over here to my neighbor. I'm going to take what he... No, it ain't going to work that way. Don't think for a minute that your neighbor ain't wise to you, that hasn't thought about you. Now, if you're an upstanding man and you're a man of character and you've done your due diligence and you've put stuff away faithfully, then all of a sudden you're not on that DT list anymore to your neighbor. DT stands for don't trust. You're on the T list. You're on the trustworthy list because you have prepared for yourself. You're not going to make yourself vulnerable to making bad decisions. You're not going to allow yourself to become desperate. You've done put away what you need to, some medical supplies, some food, maybe some water filters, some water. You've done put that stuff away and you're prepared. Now, if you haven't, and you're one of them guys that think you're going to do that, let me just say this. You may not even know it, but particularly if you live out in the country, well, even in the city, I will say in the city, suburbs, country, there's a group of people that are right around you that you know nothing about. And those group of people have been preparing, and they have a coalition. They have like an underground railroad or a chain that they communicate, whether it's through radio, whether it's through phone right now, computer right now. They probably have meetings every 4 months or 6 months, or maybe it's just a meeting that an impromptu meeting. They meet and they talk about people like you, the people that they think they can't trust. And they've already got plans for you. They have plans for you. If you're out in the country, those plans involve a lot of dirt and a big hole. Think about that. A big hole and a lot of dirt. It ain't going to happen. You're not going to walk up on them. You're not going to sneak up on them. Most of the guys that I know are prepared for this. They most of them are prepared just because it's common sense, They might be farmers. Maybe they just have big gardens every year for the family. But they've always put food away. And they're hunters. They got plenty of ammo, or they're sports shooters. Maybe they got 2 or 3 ARs, probably a bunch of them are coyote hunters, and they got extremely good night vision or thermal on their rifles. You're not going to go take their stuff. You are not going to do it. And I'm telling you, you are foolish if you think you are. So I want you to think this through, the good people and the bad people that listen to this. If you're the bad person, you have an opportunity to make sure if you're not a bad person yet, you have the opportunity to make sure you don't become a bad person by making yourself vulnerable, by doing your due diligence. It's just something real simple, man. I mean, go down to the doggone local grocery store, go to the delicatessen and tell them, excuse me, are you throwing away them icing buckets that you have for your cakes? Oh, you are? Can I have a few of them with the lids? Oh, sure. No, I don't mind cleaning the icing out of them. So you can get the buckets for free. You can get the lids for free just by going to your local food store and asking them for their icing buckets or for their pickle buckets in the delicatessen, or the bakery. So, you have no excuse. Rice is so cheap. My goodness, man. Go down and get a couple bags of rice. Go down and get a couple bags of beans. Up here where we're at, they had chicken on sale for $4.40 a pound. 10-pound bag costs $4.40. Now think about that. Think about that. My goodness, stock up on some of that. Put it in your refrigerator and freeze it. If the grid goes down, it may not be no good to you, but shoot. In the meantime, you can can it. Get your pressure cooker out. You can raw pack chicken. And you raw pack it in there, put it in the canner, in the pressure cooker for 90 minutes, depending on your altitude. I'm here in the lower area of North Florida, South Georgia area. My altitude ain't very high, but you can go and you can do that. That's something you can do ahead of time, and you can enjoy it and make some good food too. Read up on it, look at it, watch some YouTube videos. You can learn it. You can learn it very quickly. So think this stuff through. Think about what you're going to do, okay? Think about you and your family. I want you to be concerned. I want you to think about what could happen versus what you can prevent from happening. I want you to be the person that says, hey, you know what? This ain't looking good. The president just came on. I heard they told 93,000 kids or something like that up in North Georgia not to come to school. We're closing down the schools in a couple counties here. I think it's probably up by Atlanta. I'm pretty sure. Fulton County or something like that. Look it up. But I think that's a wise decision. If you got kids in school, hey, maybe take a little vacation right now. Maybe do something a little bit different. Make it fun for the kids, And listen, if they're 10, 11, 12 years old, you can be honest with them. You can say, listen, there's a sickness going around the school. I want to make sure nobody gets it. It's not good for us. It's not good for mom and dad, but it's really not good for grandma and grandpa. And we got to make sure we don't get it. And we can spread it without even knowing it. We can be sick without even knowing it. So we're going to work our way through this. So, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of honesty between you and the kids, and then go over with them some procedures for, putting a mask on and washing your hands regularly. And, you hear somebody sneeze or cough, walk the other direction. What I'm saying here is that you're going to have to listen to me. You're going to have to. You cannot get away without listening to me. Because if you don't listen to me, you're going to listen to somebody else later on saying, this is what you must do. The time is now. Please prepare. This is an emergency from your emergency broadcast system. Now, would you rather do it then, or would you already rather have everything set aside, be sitting back nice and comfortable, sitting by the fire, drinking a nice glass of sweet tea or unsweet tea, or maybe you're having a beer or a glass of wine, and not that you're getting sloppy drunk, because you never want to do that, because you want to keep your wits about you in times like this. But the point I'm trying to get across is that you might be able to relax just a little bit. You might have some assurity, and your neighbors might have some assurity. Think ahead. Think about what you're going to do. Think about your safety plan. In the tree business, I had a tree business for years, and we had a tailgate meeting every once in a while. Tailgate safety class where we, out in front of the job site or the office there, where we kept all our equipment. The pickup trucks would be in there, pulled in there forward, and then people pop their tailgates down and sit there, and we'd go over safety, And you can do that with you and your family, Develop that Liberty Bell Coalition that Schaefer Cox was so famous for. And God bless him. If you ever get a chance, look him up. He's a real patriot. I don't care what anybody says about him. Schaefer Cox. The Liberty Bell Coalition. A form of coalition, call it whatever you want. We like to call ours a Liberty Bell Coalition because we're into liberty and freedom and the Constitution. But also this will give you liberty and freedom from fear, Now, I'm not saying that you do everything yourself. I'm saying you seek God, see what he wants you to do. But you better have a tentative ear to what he's saying. If he says don't go to the garden and eat off the apple tree or the fruit tree, don't do it. But if he gives you permission to go do something else, go do it. If he's egging you on and encouraging you, and you feel a sense of something inside of you that just speaks to your heart, and you just realize, I got to do this. I made a decision to move up here north from South Florida. It's been over 10 years ago now, and I got some of my family to move up here, and a bunch of the family bought property. And let me tell you something. There's a reason that I've shared this stuff over the years with everybody. There's a reason. I know I'm supposed to be here. A lot of the family members that live up here, they'll say, well, what brought you up here? They're not going to say me. You know what they're going to say? God. God brought us up here. Well, he talked to my heart and spoke to my heart and said I need to be out in the country and become a little bit more self-dependent. And no, I'm not going to be a recluse. And no, I'm not just a survivalist. I'm a homesteader. And I prepare for the worst and believe in the best. I really do believe in the best. So I want you to think about all that. I want you to think about what your plan is. What could happen? What might not happen? Are the schools going to close down? Is the trucking industry going to stop? Are the hospitals going to be so full where if you got sick, you couldn't go in there? You just have to stay home and weather the storm, Are there neighbors that are going to be coming over that maybe work in extremely populated places, and you've kind of isolated yourself, and they're friends of yours, and they're coming over and knocking on your door? What are you going to tell them? Do you have a speech for them? Do you have something that you can tell them right now? You can say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't let you in right now. Or, yeah, I can let you in. Here's a mask. Here's gloves. Wear them. Come on in. I'm concerned about this virus. No, I'm not going to shake your hand. Now, today is Monday, and I have had, within the last 2 days, probably 6 opportunities to shake hands. And people actually extend their hand out. And I said, nope, we're not doing that. And I put my elbow out there and touched their elbow, so to speak, And that's probably not the best idea either, but hey, at least you're not grabbing it in your hand and getting it in all your fingers, and you're not going to touch your face with your elbow very likely. But that's one of the points. Think all that stuff through. Think about what you're going to do. Think about your plan, and think of an alternative plan. Think of it like a chess game where you have one move at a time, but you're thinking 6 moves ahead or 8 moves ahead. And then say, okay, I'm thinking 8 moves ahead, but I'm going to have another plan that thinks 6 moves ahead. So you got a plan A and a plan B, but each plan has a forward thought process that puts you ahead of everybody else. It's kind of neat just to see if you can do it. See if you can be disciplined. One of the hardest things I found is being disciplined when somebody comes over, a family member or a friend, and they're sick. Me and my wife went round and round about this a little bit, and then I had to talk, and I believe me, you think I get animated? I was very animated, not animated, animated, and my expression was very sincere and stern. And I do it. I said it because I love my wife. I love my family. And I want to be around for my grandbaby, and I want to be around for my kids later on, I want to be able to give them advice in other matters, After all, I am an expert in nuclear physics. Not really. But anyway, I got other ways I can contribute. I got other things I can share. I love my family. I think about them. I love my neighbors. Some of them live quite a ways away, but some of them are close neighbors. And my heart just jumps when I see that my neighbors are understanding and they may be on board, and they're actually thinking about charity, about helping, taking care of other people. And that makes my heart jump and with joy. It really does. So anyway, think about there's so many areas that this can cover. If you had to stay in the house for 30 days or on your property for 30 days and couldn't go out, what would you need? Do you need stuff like toilet paper, do you need stuff like ibuprofen and Tylenol and chapstick or whatever, antibiotics, do you need any of that stuff, and do you got enough to last you through a little while? And even if you can't get it all, get something. Start somewhere and get something. You can do something. You don't have to just do nothing. I think a 20-pound bag of rice is $13, and that would last one person with a bag of beans probably a month and a half, 2 months. So if you bought 6 bags, if you bought $100 of rice and $100 in beans, next thing you know, you got a year's supply for yourself. Maybe add some other stuff to it. Maybe start canning some of your chicken and buy the cheapest cuts you could find, and and when it's on sale, and can it and put it away. These are all ideas that I've gone through in the years that I've been preparing, and things that I've thought of. I could probably teach a class on it. I'm what you would call, if I was in the if I was in education, and let's say I was teaching law enforcement, I would call in subject matter experts in each field, whether it's the weapons field, whether it's hostage negotiation, whatever it might be. I would call in subject matter experts. Well, and I'll tell this, and I'm not bragging, but in this particular subject, I am a subject matter expert. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to preparedness, when it comes to safety, thinking ahead. I consider myself an expert on the spiritual part of it. I've known the Lord since 1982. He's real. He's real. He's real, and He loves and cares about you. His heart aches for you. He desires so much for you to talk to Him. Now, I could say the word prayer, but I don't want to confuse people, because a relationship with God is just you talking to Him and then listening to what He's got to say. He loves you so much. So you prepare spiritually, you prepare physically. Anybody's got any question? Oh, I'm going to say this the first time I've said it since I started my YouTube trial. If you like what you're hearing, please like it and subscribe. This is all new to me when it comes to YouTube and how to post stuff. But if you like it, please like and subscribe. And I'm still trying to figure out a way to read if anybody's leaving comments or not. And you can leave a comment. If not, my wife will figure it out for me. Well, God bless you guys. It's a beautiful night out here. I'm sitting by the grill. I'm getting ready to barbecue up some chicken. Looking at the stars in the sky. You don't hear no planes or trains or automobiles. Just the crickets. Every once in a while, a hoot owl. All right, God bless you guys. Thank you.